Ready or not, here I come now. Let's play hide and seek. Prepare to be caught. Here I come now. Let's play hide and seek. Riding on the playground, no one dares to make a sound. Round and round and round and round, no one wants to be first found.
So the way this is going to work is tonight we're going to watch a couple of the responding officers that were the first on the call from Pullman. They will enter Brent's apartment complex, talk with a few of the roommates, and then they basically go into a standoff type of situation. There is over 200 hours of body cam footage. And I will let everybody know there's a lot of redacted information in this, but as far as the visual, but we will see we will hear the audio. I think the reason for doing this for me was Brent KOPACKA has been talked a lot about in the Idaho4 murders. I mean, that it's a given fact. I mean, there are still people that make daily videos about Brent KOPACKA, and I wanted to dig into this and get to the truth and see that case file and know that case file. And eventually, once it was released, to get it out there to the public so everybody could understand the truth in this case, because this is essentially unlocking the Idaho4 truth. And I know it's kind of ironic. It's in my title tonight, but I wanted to get to the center of the investigation and get the truth out there about Brent KOPACKA. The thing that you will come to understand, and I was very shocked and alarmed today when I opened up the file, that there are some things in there that we will become to be familiar with. There are some things in this file that are extremely shocking. There is a lot of extreme language that I don't condone that happens in this document. I've made my determination about it, and I will allow you to be the judge and jury of Brent KOPACKA, his personality, the situation. I will leave that up to you to judge in the comments. I am just bringing this forward. The language that you will see in this document, I do not condone. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to show you the case file. I'm going to talk about some of the pages on the case file, but the document is 75 pages, and it's a lot of just recounting of all the officers that responded. But I want to actually physically show that I have the file. So let me do this. I'm going to present the case file document so you will be able to see it. I'm going to share the file here. So Pullman Police Department, I have my good old watermark on there because we know that people like to watch my stuff and steal it. So we're going to watermark it. Let's see the case number there. If you want to do your own public records request, good luck. If not, what I'm going to do for you, if you want to go ahead and preview this file ahead of time, and I also have the CAD file, which is if you want to go to download your own copy, you can do that. And I will drop a link here in the chat. You can purchase it on my Buy Me a Coffee site. It's right there. You can download your own copy. And if you want to go ahead and read ahead, you can. Okay. So here we go. Weapons offense, case number 22-P1280. And again, this is from Pullman. It's from Pullman, Washington, Police Department. I'm just going to scroll through here and get through a couple pages. Let me just bring my notes up. Again,
This case is large. It's a very, very big case. And I was just talking to a couple of people today that, have been following this. And you have to think you have the police investigation. You have all the accounts of all the officers that were there. It's probably going to have to be looked at by the military, considering Brent was ex-military, I would think. You have the state police investigation because they were actually the SWAT that went in. So, it'll be interesting. It's an interesting case. Pullman Police Report Department number here. You can see all of the actors involved. I'm just going to...
Yeah, I think I heard that right? Did it say all the actors involved? Here are all the actors involved. Actors. Is that typical to call the police officers, the SWAT team, firemen, medics? Is it typical to call them actors on a scene like this? On a call where someone's got a gun and he's threatening to kill somebody? Even though that's probably not even what happened? Is actors is that the choice of words that you would use? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. So why was it used? Was Brent an actor too? Is Brent safe? Your guess is as good as mine. Because they hold the secrets over there, don't they? Yes, they do.
I'm going to scroll through here. Observe assault police firearm offense codes here. Additional. So we had the assault police firearm, additional offense, mental health crisis, and assault and intimidation. We'll keep reading through these of all the active participants in the case. And you have all your victims, your offender, Brent Lee KOPACKA, 12/14/22. And I want to go to page 6 first, right here. So, synopsis, Brent KOPACKA threatened to shoot his roommate, Jordan Baker, and Christian Yana KOPACKA barricaded himself inside his apartment. During a standoff with Whitman County Regional SWAT team, KOPACKA fired numerous rounds out of his apartment. He was subsequently shot by a SWAT team member. Investigation turned over to WSP. So you have the narrative here. On 12/14/22 at approximately 23:3600 hours, Whitman dispatched Pullman units in to report a firearm offense. 1000 SU Latah Street, apartment 311. Whitcomb advised that they received a third-party report from a male later identified as Jordan Baker, who was stating his roommate was walking around in the hallway with a firearm. Baker was now supposedly talking to his pastor, who was unidentified but was on his way to the scene. Interesting. I responded along with Sergeant Harris and Officer Lambley. While en route, I saw that the complainant was reporting that Baker had gotten out of his apartment. I met with him in the pastor, who he was speaking with at approximately the time in the parking lot. I initially tried to get Jordan to tell me where the apartment was in relation to us. Between him and the pastor, we identified the apartment as to one overlooking our position. I had Jordan and the pastor move to the end of the building where we could have some cover and concealment. I asked Baker to tell me what happened. He briefly described his roommate, later identified as Brent Lee KOPACKA, acting crazy and walking around in the apartment with a firearm. Baker said that the last couple of hours, KOPACKA had statements to shoot both him and the other roommate. I asked where the other roommate was, and Baker said he believed he was locked inside his room. I confirmed that KOPACKA had made the exact statement that he was going to shoot his roommate, and Baker said, KOPACKA said, "You better watch out because I'm ready to shoot you in 5 minutes," among other crazy things. I confirmed with Baker that KOPACKA had a gun, and he said that he did. I asked if it was a handgun or a rifle, and Baker said it was a rifle. He looked at my patrol rifle, and he said it wasn't exactly like that, but it was large and it held its hands apart, identifying the rifle length weapon. Based on the information that KOPACKA had threatened to shoot multiple roommates, had a weapon, and there was another incident, a party in the apartment, it appeared we needed to take the immediate action. Told Baker to remain where he was, and he spoke to Sergeant Harris, who agreed we needed to go into the apartment immediately. Sergeant Harris, Officer Lambie, and I moved up to the 3rd floor and entered the apartment 311. Sergeant Harris was a male, later identified. Sergeant Harris saw a male, later identified as KOPACKA, fleeing from the living room into a bedroom. KOPACKA did not respond to our commands to come out with his hands visible. We were able to yell in contact the 3rd roommate, later identified as Christian Yenna, by Officer Lambie. We pulled him out of his room, and he had him exit the apartment, where we backed out of the apartment ourselves. At this point, we backed out into apartment 305 after contacting the resident there and maintained a visual on the apartment number 311 as we confirmed that there was no one else in the apartment, and Sergeant Harris began activating the SWAT team, given the situation.
So, are you guys hearing what I'm hearing? Like, literally, they're stumbling all over their words. They don't have anything correct. First, it's the third party for Jordan Baker calling, and then it's a third party, and then later, or a complainant. I don't even know what they were saying. But apparently there was 2 people that called, and one of them, I believe, was a guy driving the red car, which I believe is Justin Olson. And that is not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. In fact, that's very disturbing. Justin's been in and out of jail. He has been in and out for domestic violence, for rugs, for, I mean, you name it. DWIs, the whole works. He's, violating a court order, a protection order.
Remained in the apartment, 305, watching the door to 311 until I was relieved by SWAT officers. I then went into the stairwell in the north side of the building, initially with the Deputy Orland of the Whitman County SWAT team, and was later joined by Reserve Deputy Blake Richards, the SWAT team medic, in the northern stairwell of the task, maintaining containment of the 3rd floor. I deactivated my body camera as it appeared to be likely to be unseen for a lengthy period of time, and I needed to preserve the battery. The battery eventually went dead prior to the end of the incident anyway. I eventually joined others, Pullman officers, including Officers Banks, Ramiro, and Westerman. The stairwell, where I was in, immediately next to KOPACKA's apartment, separated by an exterior wall. I could hear him yelling through the walls, and throughout the incident he was screaming that he would kill us, murdering everyone, murder everyone, and other threats. KOPACKA's threats to kill people were so numerous I lost track of all of them. I could hear negotiators from the position attempting to talk to KOPACKA, but it sounded as if he refused to interact with the team. I'm just going to pull this
up really quick. Heather Licious using her 3-month membership. Thank you so much. She said, thanks for the hard work, Brian and Carrie. Absolutely. You know, this is what we're doing. We want to try to make sure that we bring, and I hate using this too, because, you know, we just want to make sure we're doing the right thing in these cases. You know, bringing it forward, putting it out there for what it is. No conspiracy. You can read and buy the document now if you want. It's $8 on my site. If you want to read this full 75-page document before I do it on the 3rd night, I wanted to make that available for everybody. So again, if it's something that you're interested in doing, you can purchase it here through Buy Me a Coffee. It's on my site behind my paywall, and get an early copy of it. It's perfectly fine. I also have the CAD file up there, which is all the list of all the calls that came in via over the radio with the timestamps. We're going to get into some language here that's going to be offensive, and I apologize. Okay.
After SWAT negotiators attempted to contact KOPACKA, KOPACKA began firing a gun from inside the apartment. We heard multiple shots over in the next approximately 2 hours. I could hear rounds exiting the building, and it appeared that KOPACKA was firing in the direction of Stadium Way. The whole time he was yelling out, "I would kill people." I heard at least one round hit the sound like a vehicle in a parking lot, and Sergeant Harris advised that the SWAT armored vehicle had been hit. Overall, I could hear KOPACKA fire dozens of rounds. I lost count of how many dozens of rounds KOPACKA kept reloading and firing.
Dina Jam with the 5-month membership chat. Thank you so much. Great work, Brian. Well, thank you for being here. You know, we want to ultimately support these Wyatt chats, support the show. And I appreciate you being here. I really do. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to do something really quick. Yeah. Hang on 2 seconds. There. Okay.
So we go on. Let's see. One SWAT officers observed that what appeared to be KOPACKA setting fire to the apartment and continuing to fire rounds in the direction of the parking lot in the WSU campus. I assisted with evacuating the residents from the second floor. Immediate prior to KOPACKA, after evacuating, I resumed the perimeter coverage as KOPACKA was eventually shot by SWAT officer. Immediately prior to the KOPACKA being shot, Officers Banks, Romero, Westerman, Willis, and I were in the stairwell and could hear KOPACKA racking the action on the firearm inside the apartment. After the SWAT officer shot, I could hear a loud thud from within the apartment, and I was advised the SWAT element on the third floor. Once the inside of KOPACKA's apartment was secured by SWAT officers, I assisted the possessing officer Romero and Banks on the third floor to secure the immediate crime scene and remain on the scene until I was told to clear by Commander Brashears, I think that's what it is, end of narrative, to clear the penalty and perjury and there was Officer Wade Weingardner, badge number 468. And and basically the report here, the 75-page report, is every police officer's recount of what happened that day. What happened that day? Okay, I want to go to page 12. Where did I see? Okay, so a little bit here, they're talking on the roommate. Baker had a mental illness himself, and he took medication, and Brent did not. Baker had seen it from all the schizophrenics doing really well to really bad. Brent?
Did you hear what Baker said? He said that the schizophrenics, all the schizophrenics, like they're in some place altogether. Is Gritman doing studies on them? I mean, I'm really wondering because Latah, the recovery center, they said there's one program they had where they put together veterans, people that had just got out of jail, and I can't remember what the other ones were, but I'm just like, what? I'm gonna have to look that up because this is disturbing to me right now. This is very, very disturbing to me. Very. I mean, I don't even know what to think at this point. But if that's what this is, oh my God, this is diabolical. What if they weren't giving him his medication? What if they were, oh my God, my brain's just, my head is spinning right now.
Brent hears things that aren't there and will talk to himself, will see things that are not real, and is very paranoid about the government. Brent has been acting rambunctious for the last 2 months. Last night, and just
to make everybody clear, I took the documents down. I took the documents down because if that's going to be a problem, I took them down. So just source them from Pullman. It's probably going to take you a while to get them, or you can just come back here to LTL. because I'm going to be doing this on the third night. So if that's big of a problem, I took it down. It's fine. I mean, there's plenty of websites out there that sell the documents. There's plenty of websites out there that do that. But I know that's going to cause a problem. So we'll just come here and sit here for 4 or 5 hours, and I'll just read all 75 pages. It's fine.
So Brent hears things. Okay, so it rambunctious last 2 months. Last night was the tip of the iceberg when Brent was making threats. Brent was standing outside of the room. If you don't come out in 5 minutes, I will shoot both of you. Baker did not know if Brent was listening to voices in his head. Brent was admitting to hearing voices in the past when Brent said that Baker had to get people involved because he did not know if Brent was going to harm one of them.
So either he's reading this very wrong or else something is very awry here. So Baker said that Brent said he had to get someone involved because he didn't know if Brent was going to hurt someone. I mean, so now he's talking in first person. I mean, he's like, what is going on here? And if that's the case, why wasn't someone called that was like a doctor, like something like that, not the cops? Oh, I'm so hot under the collar right now. This is really scary, you guys, because think about this. You have something going on with you and you don't know what it is. Well, you know kind of what it is because you've been dealing with it for a long time. And then you go to this town that you've not been to before, and you go to have a doctor who's giving you medication that might not be working for you. So you go back and you get a different one, and a different one, and a different one, and a different one, and a different one. And they're not working. What are they doing? I know that right there by there's these laboratories. I need to know what Schweitzer is. I need to know what those big old buildings over there are doing. Are they testing drugs on them? Are they testing pharmaceuticals on them? Like laboratory rats? Oh my God. This is what I felt from the beginning, you guys. You guys know it. I talk about it all the time. Manufacturing something, testing it on people. I used to say people always had rabies over there because they were always, foaming at the mouth, which they are. Why are people foaming at the mouth over there? Why are there so many people on the ground unconscious? Why? What? Is there a Dr. Frankenstein over there? I think somebody needs to figure something out, because I have a really bad feeling about this Brent thing. I have a really bad feeling. I mean really bad. I can't even. Oh my God. And the thing is, the town has to know about it. The higher ups. They're just oh my God, I want to scream right now. I want to scream out loud. I want to scream to anybody that'll listen. Something has got to be done, and it's got to be looked into.
Brent, let's see. Brent does not have a rifle and knives. Brent was very angry for some reason, and Baker did not know if Brent was going to act out of rage.
Did he read that right? Baker saying that Brent did not have a rifle or knives? Scary.
Let's see here. Baker said he and Baker could not be in the environment. Baker explained that he had 9 months left on his lease. He could not stay in the environment and was not if it was not livable. Baker said he could not live with someone who was not taking their medication and was potentially a danger to themselves and others. Baker said that his landlords would be talking to his landlords about what happened. I want to go to page 14. Towards the end. So Officer Weingartner opened up door 113 when the...
Okay, he's got to be reading this wrong. What do they mean opening up door number 113? It was 311 was the room number, not 113. I think someone might have a little bit of dyslexia going on or something, because something's not right here. But if it was that one, we got a hell of a problem now. I mean, we thought it was bad before. Now they're going in, they're talking about different rooms. And let me tell you, there's some stuff in these body cams with those snipers outside, amongst them talking to each other, that is not cool. They don't even know which room they're supposed to be aiming the gun at. It's really bad. Really bad. I can't believe they even let this footage go. Or didn't redact that part. I mean, they redacted so much of it. It's like, it makes me wonder what they're really doing when they're making all those noises. What's really going on in that room? Are they really writing up paperwork and doing this or doing that? Or what are they doing? Are they just eating lunch? Hanging out? Going through the motions? Acting like what they're doing is what they're doing? When it's not what they're doing at all? I don't know. It's scary. Very, 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 very scary. And they're ringing true. Actually, the things I've heard about this department are really starting. I mean, not like that I didn't believe them before, but wow. Now I'm like, whoa. These guys are reckless. These guys are reckless. They're off the chart, like untrained. Or if they're even trained at all. Oh, wow.
Door came open. I saw a white male in the hallway area beyond the kitchen. I saw his left side and back, and I saw it, and he looked at me over his shoulder. I did not see his hands or weapon. I did not have descriptions for KOPACKA or Yena.
Well, that's a little odd that he didn't have description for KOPACKA or Yena. Well, he kind of did. Well, maybe he didn't actually, because he was down on the bottom floor. He just had Jordan and the other guys. But they gave him a description of him. Not only that, but they had encounters with him already. They knew who he was. They knew exactly who he was. So why are they being so elusive and so covert? Because there's something wrong. Because it just doesn't happen like this. This is just weird. You know that they shot him without even identifying who it was? They later identified him after they shot him. It could have been anyone.
I shouted at the male to show me his hands. The male, later confirmed to be KOPACKA, walked away from me towards the open door bedroom C. I believe he entered bedroom C, but could not fully see around the corner to be certain. He shouted commands identifying himself as police and directing KOPACKA to come out. There was no response from KOPACKA. Let's see here. I want to go to page 21 and 22. Let's see. We'll go through this.
And again, we'll do this on the third night. It's fine. I'll just throw up a marathon stream if everybody wants to come back and hear me read the entire KOPACKA file. It's fine. Let's see. It's going to talk about when the rounds were being fired.
So after a round was fired, I heard Officer Weingartner, who was positioned on the stairwell directly above me, advise that officers in the eyesight had not been hit. The back parking lot had several vehicles parked in it, creating the potential for a round to ricochet and hit those of us in the stairwell. Friend's apartment was also closed off enough to the stairwell area that a round could potentially reach if it was fired through the wall. At approximately 02:30 hours, I noticed a civilian walking down the stairs, leading from East Main back to the parking lot, placing him directly in the range for Brent. I advised the other officers someone coming up down the stairs, and then yelled at the person to turn around and go back up. They quickly complied. At approximately 200 hours, the armored vehicle backed up north to get to a better vantage point of Brent's apartment, ending up directly in front of the balcony area of Brent's residence. It became difficult to hear what was going on inside the residence with that of the vehicle. I could hear what sounded like things being hit or thrown inside the residence. Based on the sounds alone, I was able to tell if the noise was SWAT mutations or Brent throwing items Shortly after, I heard the glass break and saw items being thrown out from the area of the apartment. Our civilians residents near steps. I want to go on. A few minutes later, I heard Brent say, bitch ass in, and then fire another round. The shot was considerably louder than the previous shots, and it still sounded like it was fired from a rifle. I also heard glass break and believed that had shot through the glass. I was aware of the partially broken window, as well as the glass slider through leading up to the balcony on the side of the residence. I could hear Brent talking, but I did not remember what he said. Brent was also difficult and impossible to understand at times. I continued to try to make out what he said in the case anything was immediately relevant and needed to be relayed to other units. Harris fired OC into Brent's apartment from the rear of the armored vehicle. I then heard Brent started making moaning noises and other rifle round fired around. In less than a minute, another round was fired. Brent fired another round. Ramiro told me that it was the fifth round Brent had fired. Shortly after this round was fired, I heard Commander Brashears arrange with WSU PD to have them respond to Stevenson and had students stay out of the windows. I continued hearing Brent talk, and it sounded like he was talking to himself. Cannot make out what he was said, but Brent was started up laughing. A few minutes later, I moved to the first floor hallway to warm up. Approximately, I returned to the exterior while Officer Ramiro, Sergeant Harris via radio, if he had returned to the armored vehicle, and he had confirmed that he had. I heard Brent yelling angrily, but could not make out what it was. I heard Brent make comments like wanting cigarettes in his wallet. A short time later, I heard a bang inside the residence, and I heard Brent say, "Oh, fuck yeah." I then heard Brent say, "Fucking assholes." The several loud crashes and bangs inside the apartment. Brent continued to escalate, and I heard him say, "Oh God, oh," and another loud bang. Immediately following that bang, I heard another rifle round being fired. The shot made me jump and it startled me. Officer Weingartner checked to ensure neither Romero or myself had been hit, and we were advised that we were okay. Brent continued talking. I heard WSU PD officer, I think it's Lungus, advise that she had talked to the residents of Stevenson and told them to stay away from the window. I just decided to go inside and warm up, and I heard a loud bang, so I returned to the stairwell. Then nothing immediately escalated. I returned to the first floor hallway to warm up. I heard another shot around 1800 hours. I could hear Brent yelling while I was inside. I heard more glass shatter. Returned to the exterior stairwell. Brent was still talking loudly. Romero advised via radio they had just heard Brent say, "I'd murder you." Less than a minute later, I heard another round fired. I heard another shot fired, and I heard Brent say, "I want my wallet or my liquor and my cigarettes." A minute later, I heard another shot, and Brent screamed, "Shut your fucking mouth." Immediately after, I heard another shot fired, and then approximately 400 hours, I heard two more shots, and Brent yell, "I'm gonna fuck you up, and then you're dead." Around this time, Sergeant Harris advised via radio that Brent had aimed at and hit the vehicle he was in. I heard Brent scream, "Get me my fucking cigarettes, you dumb fucking N-word." Approximately a minute later, I heard Brent fire another round and say, "I don't know your mom, but Weingartner checked in on us and told him we were okay." I heard Brent say, "Oh God, I want to talk to her right now." I'm not going to keep repeating the N-word. It just makes me feel weird. Brent then started mockingly screaming, moaning, "Oh, please." I heard Brent fire another round. I heard him say, the language gets really, I'm not going to repeat the language. You can read it here. It's really graphic. And I don't want to keep saying all these F words, but you're all adults and you can read along here. And it's just very disturbing language. And again, I was shocked when we got into this, the things that I was reading and just not good. I heard Brent fire another round and say something to the effect of, get me the F out of here, because I don't want to hit you, and then fired another round. I then received a phone call in my work cell within Whitcomb for status check. I heard Brent fire another round. I heard Deputy advise on the radio that Brent had hit the Stevenson Tower. I then heard Brent say, I'm going to start fucking killing people now, siding with these guys outside. I relay what I heard out on the radio, and when we heard Brent start feeding rounds into his magazine. Upon hearing this, I completely believed that Brent was about to use his firearm to try to kill officers and civilians at the first opportunity he had to do so. I tend to speak with Brent. I heard Brent say, there's some guy effing dead bodies outside. I heard Brent say he was going to... You can read that there, referring to the dead bodies. I heard Brent continue to talk and start laughing. I returned to the interior hallway to warm up. I heard Brent fire another round. I heard him fire another round or two more. I heard another 2 shots fired. I heard another 2 shots fired. I was advised of the radio to take shots fired by a sniper unit. At this time, I briefly turned my camera off for personal break. Turned my camera back on, and I was alone, and I was done. I heard Brent angrily scream, and I'm not going to read that. You all can read along there. I heard Brent fire a shot at approximately 340-100 hours. I heard Weingartner mention that Brent might be starting to fire a fire in his apartment. I heard Brent fire another round, which sounded like it could have been from a smaller caliber firearm. Harris confirmed that Brent was starting a fire in his apartment, placing the other residents in immediate danger. Ramiro, Westerman, and I began working on evacuating the first floor residents at approximately 3,400 hours. 3,600 hours. Other officers worked on clearing the other floors by approximately 3,600 hours. We had evacuated the first floor to the best of our ability. We did not get an answer at some doors, and we did not know what units were empty. I returned to the outside stairwell. I heard Officer Ramiro say that he had heard a gun being cocked. He asked if the units above us if they racked their slides and one of their firearms, and said they had not. Shortly after that, I heard shots fired and heavily thud from the area of Brent's apartment. I remember feeling the intense relief that the risk had been mitigated before the officers or civilians were hurt or killed. At approximately 400 hours, I heard the radio of the SWAT making entry. Ramiro and I sent inside the first floor hallway and avoided the potential crossfire. Heard officers advise that the medics were not needed, indicating Brent was deceased. So I'm going to stop there on the report, but I just wanted to show you some of the accounts of the officers.
If I should die before I wake, it's 'cause you took my breath away. Losing you was like living in a world with no air. Oh, I'm here alone, didn't want to leave. My heart to move, but see it completed. 'Cause there was a way that I should make you understand that you're the best. You respect me. Live alone with Johnny. If I were before the panic, it's so far from me to breathe. Tell me how I'm supposed to be with no there. Yeah, there, man, we were no there. So there whenever you went there. So there, no there. I'll be out here in the water so deep. Tell me how you gonna get without me. If you ain't here, I just can't breathe. No air, no air.
Okay, you guys. Hello there. Well, this is so disturbing. I don't even know where to start. First of all, how did JB just escape from this building that supposedly his roommate was walking up and down, pacing up and down the hallway, toting a rifle, saying that he's going to unalive his roommates? And who's this pastor he's talking to? And the guy driving the car? Well, we know who was driving the car. And is that the third-party complainant? So is the ex-Latah County Sheriff the third-party complainant? And the other guy, who I believe is a, let's say, a horizontal actor, let's put it that way. Not a pastor, in my opinion. Was a pastor, and if it is a pastor, what's he doing hanging out with the next Latah County Sheriff, who now is a complainant to in my opinion, a fake call? Well, now, based on my research, Baker is quite the drama queen, and he will admit to that himself. He's all over TikTok. He is making videos about Brent and how he's his best friend, and so on and so forth, and that Baker himself is schizophrenic and on medication, and that he wishes that Brett would take his medication. In other videos, body cams, Brett claims he is taking his medication. So, don't know about that one, but Jordan is over the top in his theatrics, put it that way, and he enjoys it. That's one of the things he says that he does. He's an actor, and he's a singer, and he's going to be a star. Jazz hands. Brrr, drum roll, please. Will Jordan Baker please enter stage right? Yes, he will. He has. He did. And now he's gone for some reason. He's kind of disappeared somewhere in Florida or something like that. Maybe he was talking too much. I don't know. So Sergeant Harris saw a man later identified as KOPACKA fleeing from the scene to like another room. Okay, so in a nutshell, they shot at someone and killed them that they didn't even know what their name was in the beginning. They didn't know if that was him or not. Later identified. So they hadn't identified him upon the time that they shot and fired shots at him. And later, and to unalive him. Unidentified. Identified later. They shot at someone in the back, from what I understand. So they still didn't see who he was. It could have been anybody. Later identified. Something is very, very wrong here. Oh my God. This is just nuts.